is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura. Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys and will do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Hey, you got me? You got me? You got me? All right, all right, all right, all right. Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're back. It's a beautiful Thursday, June 26th, day number 18,749 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Yes, and we had a good time last night at the House of Blues. We were in Orlando last night after the show. Went up there, had a missionary thing. Wife got a flat tire before we drove up to Orlando, so had to overcome that. Hey, by the way, all you Turnpike Rangers, are those Turnpike Rangers supposed to stop if they see you broken down? I mean, we called AAA, don't get me wrong. And then some dude, just a random like tow truck guy, stopped and helped us out really quick. So we told AAA, we good. But I'm just wondering, those Turnpike Rangers that they're supposed to be driving around and all that kind of stuff, are they supposed to stop if they see you broken down? Because like 3 or 4 of those idiots passed us and they didn't stop. So I just want to know what the rules are for Florida Turnpike Rangers. I mean, you're in your little pickup truck there trying to, help batteries and flat tires and all that is. I'm just wondering, what is the rules for those Florida Turnpike Rangers? Because like 4 of you passed us yesterday on the Turnpike in 74th, northbound. Okay? Just in case. So just wondering, what is the rule with those Rangers? Because you people suck. Kind of wave you down, nothing. And then some random dude just stops. Hey, you need some help? And, bro, he cut us like 40 minutes to an hour of waiting, standing there on the side of the Turnpike. So that saved us because we got out of when you go to Orlando in the afternoon, you need to be out of the Palm Beach. You need to be in the Martin County, St. Lucie, because that's not a walk in the park anymore either. There's population there. But you need to be out of here by 2:30, 3 o'clock. You got to be out of the South Florida bubble. And then if you're into the Gold Coast, right? I think that's what that is. Or what is the Gold Coast or Treasure Coast? Or it's some freaking coast. It's one. Well, okay, so then it's the Gold Coast and then the Treasure Coast, whatever the hell it is. Whatever you people are in Port St. Lucie and Martin County, which, by the way, I love that area. I'd live in that area in a heartbeat. Anyway, but whatever the hell that area is called, you got to get out of there. If you want to make it to Orlando in 3 hours, like normal, you will not make it in 3 hours if you leave at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock from South Florida, from Miami. No way. Especially from Deep Kendall, where I live. Won't happen. It'll become a 5-hour trip, obviously, because it'll take you 2 hours just to get out of Palm Beach, from Day to Palm Beach. So you've got to get out of there, and we got out of there just in time, dude. Just in time. It was beautiful. So we made it with plenty of time up there and all that good stuff. So all good. Yes.
South Miami to West Palm is Gold Coast. So it's Treasure Coast then. Wow, I didn't know that. And Space Coast. Okay, that would make sense, obviously. Yeah, that would make sense with Cape Canaveral. Okay. What coast?
The Fun Coast is
Fun Coast.
Yeah, it's New Smyrna, Daytona, because of the Surf Coast, also known as the Surf Coast.
Is it? Would you guys say you live there in New Smyrna, Daytona? Would you call that the Fun Coast? Because your water's colder than ours. I don't call that a lot of fun. I'm not just being honest here. Just saying. But anyway, I don't know what the job of those Florida Turnpike Rangers are, right? But I think you're there like to help people. And I'm just saying 4 of you suck. Just want to throw that out there. But that's all right. We overcome. Met Sweet Baby Ray yesterday.
Yes.
You see him there on the
Yeah,
chat
he's
board?
on the chat board.
He's already there?
Yep.
Okay.
He said that he met a South Florida legend, I believe.
Well, that's a little crazy, but thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. Not true, but thank you. So we hung out for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, right? Something like that before the concert. And so had a good time. He's been listening to us and supporting us since the days of La Ensalada Deportiva. So he's kind of been with me my entire career, actually, which is pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. That's the 35 years he's been there, because that's one of my first jobs. So that is thank you, Ray. And it was a pleasure, an honor to meet you, sir, and hang out. And I'm sure we will hang out again in the future, my friend. There's no doubt about it that our paths will cross many times over. Now that I've got your number and everything. So, but anyway, so had a really good time. Clutch was awesome. Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown were all right and everything. I mean, not like I went up there really for Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. Unfortunately, I walked in too early, and I caught a lot of the third act, the first band, and it was like a solo dude. God bless him. He's trying and all that, but I had no interest whatsoever. Luckily, I found a bench. I was on the bench. Yeah, I was with Scotty Farrell on the bench.
Watching the opening act.
Watching the opening act. I go, I am not standing for this guy. And no, dude, I mean, are you crazy? I should have stayed outside, Ray, and talked to you a little bit more. And then the wife was floating around and enjoying the mall. They have by the way, they have a donut shop there. Did my wife answer it? Yes. Everglazed Donuts. Everglazed Donuts. So I'm walking in, and to the right is this place called Everglades Donuts, but it has the orange of kind of like Dunkin'. So I really didn't focus on them. I was just using periphery, and the colors gave me, oh, this is just a Dunkin'. So I just came by and I wasn't paying attention. But all of a sudden, you know, donuts. You know, donuts is like a drug for me. It's like a really bad drug. A glazed donut, forget it, dude.
It's a glazed donut, by the way, not all these fancy ones. All he is glazed donut.
Yes. And so I glance and I go, whoa. And I see these glazed donuts that are big and beautiful. And I go, bro, that doesn't look anything like a Dunkin'. And I look up and I look at the name and I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? And it's called Glazed Donuts and something else, and drinks or something. I don't know. And because you can get coffee there and all the other stuff. And they have a whole bunch of other donuts. Let me tell you something, bro. They make a hell of a glazed donut. They make a delicious donut. I told my wife, buy 2. I'll have one on the way home when I'm driving. And sure enough, I had one on the way home. And I go, son of a bitch, I should have bought 2 more. The second one I had this morning, that's all I've eaten. It's 3:09, and all I have today is a glazed donut in my system. Because you got to like kind of balance. Okay, I'm going to cheat. Okay, good. Well, I'm not going to eat anything else for like the afternoon. I'll have like some kind of a salad or some kind of a maybe sushi or something. I'll have something that's light and, kind of balance everything out. That's how you got to keep the weight off, bro. You can cheat. You want to treat yourself. That's awesome. But you better balance it out and not go have the same kind of meals and cheating at the same time. But that donut was absolutely delicious, dude. At Glazedville or Glazed, Everglazed Donuts. Okay, I will swear by their glazed donut at Everglazed Donuts. That's right. I was thinking about it, that I should be able to remember it because of the Palm Beach Everblades. And we lived I practically lived next to the Everglades. Jesus Christ. I'm like I could throw a rock into the damn dried up Everglades. Yeah. Although they are doing, I don't know if I'll bore you with a little, but they're that when they created 8th Street and all that stuff, they kind of also destroyed the way the water flows from the lake to the swamp. So actually, they have put in several billions of dollars to correct that issue, and they're in the middle of redirecting and reconstructing all of that so the water can flow back into the Everglades again, like it was supposed to, like it was intended to, in the first place. So, kudos that they are trying to correct that issue that they sorely mistake, a terrible mistake they made decades ago that really cost the Everglades dearly. So let's hope that that'll help bring it back to life a little bit more. Would be really nice. Anyway, I won't tell you any more about the boring stuff. Appreciate all of you out there as always. The Miami Heat, they drafted Casper the Friendly Valanciunas, or Yakachunas, not Valanciunas, Yakachunas. Casper the Friendly Yakachunas. Look, I don't know, dude. What do you want me to tell you? Everybody loves their draft pick, and oh my God, we're surprised he was here, and he was the steal of the draft, and he was supposed to be a lottery pick, and oh my God, he's awesome. He's at 20. Whatever. I hope that Casper the Friendly Yakachunas is a hell of a player. That's what I hope, wherever they picked him. Yes, sir.
I go back to this because I heard it said yesterday when he got drafted. They're like, oh, he fell to us like Bam and like Tyler did. And I was like,
yeah,
you do realize
okay,
they are that they were right, because they weren't lottery picks, because
they're not special.
They didn't come through.
No, they're not special. Good players, solid players, but not special.
But I do hope Casper changes that. But it's just funny because I heard everybody's, he fell to us just like Bam and Tyler. And I was thinking, they've showed why they fell, right? I mean, to me, they've showed.
I hope the Friendly Yakachunas can get it done, bro. We'll see what happens. Now, let me give you my interpretation of the first round pick. I can't tell you how good or bad of a player he's going to be, but maybe I can tell you what the Heat are thinking, because one, they were with me on the Durant stuff. They offered absolutely nothing outside of Casper. They offered nothing. Like, here, we'll give you like total scraps from our team and the first round pick, and you give us Durant. So I really commend the Heat on that, because I didn't want Durant here at all. But if you traded him for absolutely nothing, I got to say, all right, dude, that's fine. You didn't give anything away. So I kind of get you're trying this crap with Durant and Tyler. And are you going to get anywhere and win anything? No, anyway. But whatever. I get it. You gave nothing away for Durant. Unlike some of you out there that were still willing to give a lot more for Durant. That's a mistake. So now I'm thinking, are the Heat now finally thinking like Orlando Alzigari? Which sometimes it would be a scary thing, but not in this case. Not in this case. Driving through the Panhandle, you don't want to think like Orlando Alzigari. No. But in basketball terms, lately, yeah, I've made way better decisions than Pat Riley has. So maybe, just maybe, because this is what did you see this? They were talking, well, Tyler really needs somebody to play off of. And this is a kid that could go get himself a basket and he can create and he can facilitate and he can score and all that, right? You heard all of that, right? I think they just drafted Tyler's replacement. Because anybody that tells you that's silliness, because that's what that is, because if the Heat want to keep Casper the Friendly Yakachunas along with Tyler, then that means, morons, in a year you're going to pay Tyler? No, you can't be that stupid and give him that max deal. So you drafted Casper the Friendly Yakachunas because he can get a basket, because he's a guy that can facilitate, he can handle, he can do a lot of the things that Tyler does. Except you hope he does it with balls, with guts. You know what I'm saying? You hope he's not a Hasarai, a pig that doesn't fly straight, And so I think you drafted Tyler's replacement. I think they are going to move Tyler. If you don't move him now, you move him by the deadline. When you realize you're still in developmental stages, you're not going anywhere, why are you going to carry this deadbeat salary? Let's move him right now. He's scoring. Somebody may need a score. Let's go get whatever we can for Tyler. So either you kind of build Tyler's value up a little bit more because you're not going to get a lot right now, and most everybody's kind of set. So now you're better off going into the season with Tyler and Casper the Friendly Yakachunas. And then when Casper gets a little bit more acclimated, you hope that by the second half of the year, Tyler's traded and the Casper the Friendly Yakachunas steps in. So instead of looking at it the way I think some of the neophytes are looking at it, because I think you're all wrong out there if you think this is about some future pairing with those two. No. I think the Heat got smart and said, yeah, it's time to start turning over some stuff, creating more assets so we can start to get better. And I think you drafted Casper to replace Tyler. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And we'll see what happens. Will the Heat be dumb enough to do what some others think, try to keep this as some kind of pair for the future, which means you got to keep Tyler and pay him a lot of money? Or is it more about what I think it is? This is a guy that has all the skill sets of Tyler. We just hope he's a better version of it. So now we can move Tyler for a pick or two or three that somebody may give us because he's a scorer and they need him halfway through the season. And now we can focus on more on the future and moving forward. That's just me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that's what I would do if I'm the Miami Heat, and it has not changed. I have been steadfast about this. You need to turn over this roster. So if some idiot wants to give you something before the trade deadline, whatever it is, a second rounder or two for Wiggins, do it. Because, he can play defense and help you out. And all. Well, good. Maybe somebody needs a defensive player and a 3-and-D guy that can help you out a little bit off the bench down the playoff stretch for a really good team where he is, the 6th, 7th, 8th player coming off the bench. And then Tyler can also be the 6th, 7th, 8th player off another really good team's bench. And they're willing to trade because they're looking to get over the top. And they don't have to give even Tyler a long-term contract either, by the way, if they don't want to. They're just looking to seal the deal and win the title. Let's bring in a shooter. Tyler will have no pressure because the stars will unload all the pressure off of him because they'll be worried about the stars. Tyler will feed off of them. Wiggins will feed off of an entire team, and he can just be a solid role player for you. Instead of putting him in a position where you every year you're trying to, hey, Wiggins will be the star, and that's not who he is. So that's what I would do. My interpretation of Casper the Friendly Yakachunis is that he is here to replace Tyler Hero. What can I tell you, man? I can tell you about R&M Contractors because we love talking about Ray, Mike, all the great people at R&M Contractors. They know how to do it. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, appliances included. They do waterproofing for your terrace, your balcony, flood test report, bathroom upgrades, impact windows, door installations, maintenance, whatever it is that you need. I'm telling you, for condo or home here in South Florida, call my guys, Ray and Mike. That's his cell number right there, 305-345-3649. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you, man. And if you want to see their work firsthand, see some of the videos and the pictures, go to their Instagram page, RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. You can see a lot of work that they do, first-class work. And that's what you expect. That's what you're going to get with R&M Contractors. I think Casper can cut down on the turnovers. Otherwise, he will become a ghost in Miami's haunting the bench. Bro, you're way ahead of a baby that's nothing right now. You know, we don't even know what he is. Howdy-o, got Howard Jones tickets for September show with Haircut 100. Opening act, very cool. Let me know what section you are in. I haven't even bought my tickets yet, but I am going. I'm definitely going. I love Howard Jones. And, you know, now that Nick Hayward, I think it is, right? A Haircut 100. I've never seen Nick ever live. So I think it's Nick, if I'm correct. Haircut 100 lead singer. I think it's Nick Hayward. Anyway, looking forward to checking it out. I'm obviously the one very popular song, Love Plus One. But they've got a couple of other songs, so we'll see. Nick Hayward, right? Okay, there you go. So yeah, I'll give you a heads up, Ray, when I get my tickets with the wife. I just haven't bought them yet, but I am definitely going. I want to go to Howard Jones. Love Howard Jones, bro. Love Howard Jones. Yes, I am the glazed donut aficionado, Oscar. That is, I can tell you what a great glazed donut is. There's no doubt about that. Other donuts, no. But glaze, yes. No wonder why you have that glazed overlook on your face today. Yeah, I mean, I had a great night last night, man. I went to a terrific concert. Anytime I can see a band at the House of Blues, dude, in Orlando, it is so awesome because it's a small place, it's intimate, and you just get a great feel for the band, and it's just so awesome. So it was a lot of fun, and it's easy. Driving up to the Turnpike and back down, painless, dude, painless. We were home by, I don't know, 2:00 or something. It was cool. Can't complain. Gotta say. What do we have here? I see Brian Radke. Good afternoon to you, sir. Jay Gelfin, Jeff in Long Island, Cosa Nostra, Dan the Film Gent. Let's see. Edward Thurston Howe. Strontius. Sweet baby Ray, there you are. Glad I met South Florida legend last night. Hope you guys had a blast with Clutch. Steal of the draft for the Heat. It's weird to hear the national pundits give props to the Heat for anything. Yeah, well, I guess because they all had the kids so early, and then they get them at 20. So, we'll see, bro. We'll see overall where it turns out. But I think they got Tyler's replacement is what I think. I really do. Brian Landis, Gus 1388, John Padilla's in San Francisco. Luis Solis says, Big O, I'm thinking about creating a cologne for introverts. I want to call it Leave Me the F Cologne. Not bad. I like that. By the way, don't forget, folks, you can also support the show Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Hit the like button. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Sean will show you the QR codes there, of course. That helps keep us alive, and we always appreciate it. Sweet baby Ray, thank you, my brother. Very kind of you, very generous. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, sir. And pleasure meeting you yesterday. That was an honor. Thank you, my friend. That is very kind of you. Very kind. Thank you. And, of course, for you out-of-towners, PayPal, for now, I think they're eliminating PayPal business June 30th. So the people from out of town, I guess I'm going to have to use my personal PayPal because the people out of town can't use, what's it called, Cash App or Venmo. They have a hard time. People out of the country have a hard time using Cash App or Venmo. So they have to support the show through PayPal. But apparently I heard that PayPal business is going out of business on the 30th. So maybe I can only use the PayPal personal or something. I don't know. Jake from Palatown, I see. Steven Gonzalez, Ty in the Bronx. What else? Lou from Dade. Roadside Rangers are as useful as McDaniel with the play clock winding down. Wow. Well, I felt like that yesterday, Lou. I felt like that yesterday. Skyler, Wilfred Joseph, Juan Rosa, Florida boy, Tony Zags. Do you have to be glazed to eat the donut? No, but it helps. Let's see what else. Say no to DQ. Yes, sir. No more DQ. Although I'll go get a Blizzard. Just never a hot dog again. Just never any food again. No food at Dairy Queen ever again. None. Yes, sir.
It looks like they're just eliminating the standalone PayPal business app.
Right.
So you still have PayPal business.
I have the personal one.
No, you still have the business. They're still going to have business, just not the app. The app alone. You can. It says you can still access their business accounts and functionalities through the web. At PayPal.com.
So you can do it on your browser, but not on the app.
There's no more. They're just closing the app down. The standalone app.
Well, that sucks. The app is very useful, bro. That sucks. That's just terrible. Let's see. Jeff says, did you buy the concert shirt when they played We Build the City? Oh, I see what you're saying there. Yes. No, actually, this is not a legitimate concert shirt. This is not a concert shirt. I just bought the shirt because I freaking love Jefferson Starship. I, by the way, saw Jefferson Starship one time back in the 80s. When they were like the band. Back in the day when it was Stranger and all that other stuff that they were playing back in the day. I saw them once. I don't have the shirt from that concert, but I love Starship, so I bought this shirt because Winds of Change and all the different songs that they have from that era. I love. I love Jefferson Airplane, but the early Jefferson Starship stuff I think is exceptional. Awesome stuff. Obviously, they got more poppy when they became Starship. You know what I'm saying? And then, we built this city and all that other crap. And they were big hits that they had. But I really love the Jefferson Starship iteration of them. Yes, sir.
So to add on, you're still going to have the PayPal app when you can link your business to that one. And it says it'll be a seamless switching.
Oh, okay, good. Well, then that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to switch it over because the people from out of the country do it. And thank you. We thank you, by the way. It's how we survive. So thank you. 305 Sports, Karoon. Random question came to my head. With NFL war rooms having so many people during the draft, have you ever heard a story of the wrong player being drafted out of confusion? No, I don't think so. I've heard of them turning the card in late and getting skipped, like the Vikings, I think. Stuff like that. But I don't think I've ever heard it. Maybe it's happened. Maybe there was a miscommunication. Who knows, dude?
I know they usually have one dedicated person that makes the call and all that. Everybody's throwing out everything, but one person's in charge of.
I could imagine that like 40 years ago in the first days of the draft, maybe there was in that moment.
Imagine they probably had to send a fax to wherever the draft was to say who they're going to get.
But now there's too many checks and balances for that to be screwed up.
Worst kind of worst is texting to the guy.
Yeah, but I could imagine in the early 80s or something like that. Yeah, when it was very remedial at that point, and then communications and all of that, I could see a mistake in those days for sure. I don't know of any right now off the top of my head. I don't remember one. Maybe there was a story somebody told me and I forgot about it, but right now I can't remember anything about that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be shocked in today's world. With modern technology, I don't think that could really happen. It shouldn't happen unless there's some kind of interference that was sabotaged, something like that. So I don't know anything like that, Karoon. Sorry. Let's see what else. Checking in from LA, and he's hitting that bong, says Think Blue Dodgers. Thank you, sir, and smashing it also. Ocala Joe says, I once changed a flat tire in the Turnpike with the speed of a NASCAR crew pit. I did it years ago when I was young, but ever since a friend of mine died changing a tire on the Turnpike on 826, actually, I'll never do it. And it was on the driver's side. So you were right there with all the traffic. And when the guy was changing the tire, in fact, I was standing and trying to tell people, hey, we're here, just because I'm terrified for the man. And obviously I was standing in front of the car so I could dive if I had to. I was also very terrified for the man. So you can't pay me enough to change a tire anymore on the highway, especially on the left side where all the traffic is at. On the right side, I might do it. I might think about it on the right side. But on the left side, the way people drive, I'm not doing it. And I have AAA for a reason. Call AAA. Okay? I'll wait. It's just not worth it, bro. I want to see clutch. I want to have the glazed donut. And then I want to be back to do my show. And guess what happened? I'm back to do my show. So I will never, ever, after that experience of knowing somebody that actually died changing a tire, I'm not doing that. When I was young, stupid. Yeah. In fact, you couldn't even pay me to do that job that guy did yesterday for us. Yes, sir.
I looked up to see if there was any stories online from draft rooms.
Yes.
There are two that they highlighted. I'm sure there's more, but in 1982.
Okay, there we go.
That
makes sense.
The next one's going to be funny, but the Buccaneers were selecting 17th overall and intended to draft defensive end Booker Reese.
Okay.
However, I'm not sure how this works. Due to miscommunication, the name Sean Farrell was mistakenly announced. The team then realized the mistake and quickly selected Booker Reese with their next pick, 32nd.
You probably still have like dial in those days, and you might have had some garbled or something. It's like, yeah, man, early 80s. I can see that.
And they did say Farrell ended up being a solid player for the team. The other one, 2023.
Wow. Okay.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
In 2023, the Raiders drafted defensive tackle Byron Young in the 3rd round.
Okay.
However, another defensive lineman with the same name, who was projected to be a higher pick, was picked just a few picks later by the Rams. The Raiders pick even texted his agent saying they would draft him before they recanted. The Raiders pick was waived after just 1 season. They wanted the other one.
So they picked the wrong Brian Young.
Byron Young. Byron Young. Yeah, picked the wrong one. Then the Rams picked up the one they wanted.
That's hilarious.
A couple picks later.
Okay, so that's a different kind of screw up.
Yeah.
Because you did pick the right name, but there happen to be, and they happen to have the same position and everything.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
No, that's the other thing.
I mean, okay, give me the receiver, Brian Young. Okay, well, there's a defensive tackle also. Okay, no, but we're talking about the receiver. Give me the receiver. So there you won't make that mistake. But wow, I can see that. Yeah.
It would be so Raiders, though, right?
It would be so
I started
Dolphins.
laughing when
By
I
the way,
saw
it
it.
would
I
be
was
kind
like,
of Dolphins.
yeah,
too.
I got you.
Be kind of Dolphins. Yep. Big O, did you like Metallica's opening sequence on the song "One" during the last concert? Yeah, dude. I've seen Metallica perform "One" in all kinds, in different concert settings, different years. So to me, yeah, it doesn't matter, bro. I get it. It was a nice presentation for it because it's such a popular song. I didn't have a problem with that. I love Grace Slick and Jefferson Airplane. I love George and Wheezy Jefferson too. Yeah, to me, it's once it got to Starship, then it got very poppy, very cheesy, very, but early Starship, dude. Familiar stranger, should I know your name? I just love that music, dude. Love that music. Anyway, Jane is my favorite song. That's my favorite Jefferson Starship song is Jane. You're playing a game called Cat and Mouse. Let's see. Ray Grullon says the Starship album Red Octopus with Miracles track is a classic for sure. Airplane is amazing. Love Airplane. Forget about it. It's freaking awesome. All their music. But I love Starship. Jefferson Starship, not Starship. Like, okay, decent music. Don't get me wrong. They made good poppy music in Starship. Not my style. But the Jefferson Starship, love it. The early MTV stuff. All that stuff, dude, for me is exceptional rock and roll. Love it. Teron Armstead said Chop is the 4th best pass rusher, in his opinion, can possibly lead the NFL in sacks next year. Do you agree? I know, we'll see, bro, but I like Chop too. And we'll see what happens. 305 Sports, very kind of you, sir. Thank you for the love and the super chat, man. Very nice. Very, very generous. Never heard of a team drafting the wrong guy by accident. Unfortunately, the Dolphins often draft the wrong guy on purpose. Ha-ha! Ba-boom. Nice job, 305 Sports. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
We have an NHL trade.
We haven't. Oh yeah, we got a goalie.
Yes, the Panthers acquire goalie Daniil Tarasov from the Blue Jackets in exchange for a 2025 5th-round draft pick. We do those goalies with that goalie university with Luongo and those guys.
Sweet Baby Ray and I were just talking about that yesterday. How you trade and then you'll go get another guy now and you needed Seth Jones, bro.
Because even Vanasek wasn't terrible for us in goal. He started out a little rough, but then he fell in and was fine.
Yeah. We always find backup goalies, dude. We were playing against one of our backup goalies, and he gave us some problems, dude. It's like It's what we do. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, let's get to our 3 graphic sports calendar. And, of course, the great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, please call my guy, Alan Blanco. He will take care of you and your company. And I mention our name because I think it was like a month or 2 months ago. We had one of our listeners out of town asked for like 250 shirts for like a picnic or something because I've mentioned it several times. And then he goes, "Where'd you get this?" And he goes, and then he goes, "Oh, Big O." So he had to squeeze it out of him, So make sure if you go to Caneswear, you call R&M Contractors, whatever it is, Subaru of Pembroke Pines, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Toyota of Hollywood, please mention us. It's very important. Moodius Dental. You're looking for a new dentist, your family, you go to Moodius, please mention us, man. They have locations in Dayton and Broward. But anyway, 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. The Heat, they got Casper the Friendly Yakachunas with their first-round pick last night. Tonight, round 2, and the Miami Heat don't have a selection in the second round. Imagine doing a draft show in basketball for the second round, and the team doesn't have a second-round pick in a round that nobody gives a shit about. Anyway, in FIFA World Cup play, Inter Miami will take on Paris Saint-Germain. Tomato, however you want to go. Noon on Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. PSG is minus 500 on the money line. Inter Miami plus 1,100 on the money line. Saturday at Paladin Stadium in Greenville at 7 o'clock. Miami FC will visit the Greenville Triumph SC and try to pick up a road victory. There you go. All right. Dang, horrible luck for the Raiders, but yeah, didn't even consider that happening with the same name and position. It's crazy, dude. Yes, sir.
Justin Tucker news. Have you heard this one?
Oh, God. What did that effer Tucker do?
Former Ravens kicker Justin Tucker is currently a free agent. Recently released by Baltimore, a slew of off-the-field allegations related to alleged sexual misconduct, officially suspended 10 weeks without pay by the NFL. Should we go sign
now
him?
that we're sure nobody wants
sign him?
you.
We don't have to pay him for 10 weeks.
Yeah. Now that we're sure nobody wants you, and you're super toxic, and you suck now at field goals, 10-week suspension.
Now we're going to suspend you.
We're a disciplined bunch here in the NFL. It's hilarious. Oh my God. Justin Tucker was a mobile P. Diddy party.
His agent says that Justin Tucker stands by his previous statements, but in order to put this difficult episode behind him and get back on the field as soon as possible, we have advised Justin to accept this resolution and close this matter.
Yeah.
That's from his agent.
His agent's like, dude, stop fighting this already. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. All the commission I've made from you, it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. You're a sexual violator. It's bad, bro. It's bad. It is bad. All right. What else do we have going on? Let's get to a little Dolphins. Why don't we, right? It's been an interesting week here in developments, and listen, man, I'm not gonna, it's the off season, and I'm not gonna sit here and harp on the same things, the broken records that go on with the Dolphins every day, and I'm not here to, every day correct people and what they do, and I have to do it sometimes. When you have people say stupid things like, "Oh, Tua needs the perfect team to succeed," and when it's media or fans that really don't understand football and they don't really get it, or they have an agenda and they're trying to sell papers, they're trying to get clicks, and they're trying to make their editors happy and all that, or they got to sell you hopium and bullshit, or, of course, create controversy like they do with Tua a lot because they have an agenda, and it's boring, to be honest. It just is. Trust me, I know, because that's who I am. And so it's not something that really is, you guys want to hear the wacky and the crazy and the off-the-wall opinions. That's what you want in general. Unfortunately, that's what you all respond to, and we can't do anything about that. It's what the world is. You respond to chaos and craziness and Karens and things like that. That's what you respond to. So you respond to media doing and saying stupid things and crazy things, and they can get away with it because you don't hold them accountable. Stephen A can say a ton of inaccurate things, and you guys don't hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got plenty of media members that just create all kinds of controversy for no reason at all, and you guys continue to reward them. And it doesn't matter. And you follow the ML footballs and all these other stupid sites that all they do is put out misinformation and lies, and you reward them by continuing to watch, continuing to retweet, repost, whatever it is. And this is the world we live in, unfortunately. And so on this show, we've kind of kept it real the entire time. And let's start off first with Teron Armstead, because we already talked about this a little bit. But in the Tua discussion, we've talked about who Tua is and his successes and how it's going to how you build teams around quarterbacks that can't move. And there's a lot of them in the history of time, and we're going to hear from one of them that couldn't move either, by the way. Okay. But first, let's go with Armstead and talking about Tua and the comparisons that he makes.
It's a little weird obsession with my dog that I just don't get from spectators. He gets ridiculed, and he gets diagnosed more than probably anybody I ever been around. I was with Drew Brees for 9 years, and Drew had his highs, he had his lows. Even when at times with people, he can't throw deep, whatever. But the way that Tua is just dissected, completely not even related to football, they never stops on the man. But what I would say is with Tua, it's availability. We know if he's on the field, he can get the job done at a very high level. I really feel strongly about Tua and his abilities. I've made the Drew Brees comparison because I've seen it. We've had a couple games where I've seen Tua turn into a killer. Like I've seen him go into sniper mode that I've seen Drew Brees go into more common, more often. That's what I want to see from Tua. I want to see him have those moments where no matter what, we're not losing this game. I'm going to do everything in my power. But and to add to that, his availability that's a part of that process as well. The Miami Dolphins are a 4-5 win team without him. With him in the lineup, I feel like they got a chance to win every game. Not saying they're going 1972 undefeated team. No, that's not what I'm saying. But he is that special of a talent. I really feel strongly about Tua.
It's all the stuff that we've talked about, and obviously Tua has to do the things that Brees would never do. Brees is not going to throw his body around and go tackle people that intercept him and all that because he's not going to survive. And Tua has to learn how to do that part, obviously, and he'll be available. He'll be fine. And I've said he's Brees. He's Joe Montana. He's one of those kind of guys. But you blocked and ran the ball for Montana. You blocked and ran the ball for Drew Brees. It's interesting. Marissa Marino, who does a really nice job for Dolphins Talk, She had on Riddick, and again, if you listen to this show religiously, because unless you caught one of the rants, and I don't know if he made one specifically of a rant of, I did you of like the specific? Do you remember doing one of me talking about the
You've
guard?
been saying it for like 2 or 3 years now, or more than that probably. But I'm saying, I know we've
Probably there's got to be
there's
one of them
been
or
a
two of them in
couple
there, right?
least, yeah.
So I specifically talked about how with Tua and Drew Brees, you have to build the same kind of offensive line. That you have to build the guards and the center. They have to be super stout because short quarterbacks need a stout pocket and they need passing lanes because they're short. So they need the passing lanes in order to see everything developing so they can throw with their anticipatory skills. Because that's what Drew Brees has. That's what Bob Greasy has. That's what Joe Montana has. That's what Tua has. It's all the same shit, dude. But you blocked for those guys. Greasy had a great line. Joe Montana had a great line. Drew Brees had a great line. And I've talked about this. So here's Riddick with Marissa talking about the same stuff we've talked about for years on the show. Go ahead.
Well, I think, in particular on the interior, that's where Tua needs to be protected the most. So I think adding guys like Savaniah in the draft, adding guys like James Daniels, that has to be where the offense really on the offensive line stays stout. And I think the comparison that I drew, because there was a comparison being made between Tua's career and Drew Brees' career in New Orleans, was the fact that when Drew was at his height in New Orleans, he had two of the very best guards in the NFL at the time that were protecting him when he had Jari Evans and Carl Nix, who were his two guards, who were just absolute monsters. And, Drew being a just barely above 6 foot quarterback could really just kind of tuck up underneath them. The tackles could run people high and wide, and he could really attack the field inside out, which is quite honestly what Miami wants to do as well. I mean, Tua's not the biggest guy. He needs protection in his face. He needs to secure the pocket, and they love to hit everything just about 1 to 2 yards on top of the numbers. Everything is really RPO, quick strikes, slants, hitches, slants is what you call skinny posts, all those things that attack the middle of the field. So where does he need to be protected? Right in his face. So it looks as though, look, they're trying to get that done. They're trying to get it done. Now it's about a matter of keeping them healthy. And it's a matter of Tua keeping himself healthy as far as making smart decisions, which is what he's talked about, as far as knowing when to give up on a play, when to not let his competitive instincts take over and live to fight another down. So getting back to your question, yeah, I think they've tried to address it from a personnel perspective. Now let's see if Mike can go ahead and get that group of 5 guys working in concert, and most importantly, keep them on the field. And then Tua can make good decisions for himself to stay on the field.
Again, when you hear people say, oh, Tua needs a perfect team. No, he doesn't, bro. He just needs a real team, which he's never had here. It's always a fucking clown show. And when it was an even level playing field in Alabama, Jalen Hurts had to leave. He had to get the fuck out. His career was over in Alabama. Done. History in the archives. Why? He's not half the passer that Tua is. That's why he needs legs. That's why Lamar needs legs. That's why Josh needs legs, because they can't do it from the pocket full time. They're not equipped. This kid is. But Joe Montana's not going to win with his legs. And neither is Breeze. And neither is Greasy. And neither is Marino. And neither is Peyton Manning. And neither is Tom Brady. You've got to block. And I'm so tired of talking about this. And I'm glad, because Teron Armstead is way more famous than I am. And he's a player. And Louis Riddick is way more famous than I am, ever will be. And he's a former player and an analyst and all that. And it's cool, dude. I'm just a regular talk show host. Maybe I'm arrogant. Maybe I'm confident. Maybe I'm cocky. And maybe I'm all of that. But I'm also right. And so this is all the stuff that I've talked about because I'm pretty confident in my football knowledge and kind of understand what the hell I'm watching. And so I kind of, separate the emotion of being a fan and the reality of what's going on. And plus, I don't need the clicks, man. I don't answer to an editor. I don't care. If you want to believe me, great. If you don't, fantastic. If you want to click, thank you. If you don't, all right. Whatever it is, that's fine. But everything we have preached has been on target. And these are the pros talking about this. And all I've talked about for years, whether it's Marino or whether it's now Tua, the only two quarterbacks we've had here in the last 40 years. You didn't block for Marino. You had no right side of the line. You didn't have a running game. And you never had a defensive line and a defense that could dominate. And that's why Marino was a freak, and he could get you some stats, and he can put you in position and got you to even one Super Bowl with a nice weak AFC. But what happened when push came to shove? It had nothing to do with Marino. You got dogged because your team was shit. Same thing it is now. It has nothing to do with Tua. The only problem with Tua is his stupidity of thinking he is Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen. That's when he gets stupid. He needs to understand he needs to live like Marino lived, like Breeze lived. Stay in the pocket. Make your decision there and end it there. Save your body for the next play. That's what all the statues have done. And they had long-ass careers. And that's what he has to do. But the problem is, when you have no line, you have no running game, then this kid starts thinking he has to do more. And then that's when he starts doing really stupid shit with his body. So now let's go to the GOAT, another stiff, another statue that couldn't move, but is the best quarterback to ever play the game. Tom Brady. And how he talks about football. Go ahead, Sean Stanley.
Show me a great football team that doesn't have a great O-line. It probably doesn't exist very often. If you are, you're pretty lucky, and you better have incredible strengths everywhere else. And the reason why is that offensive line is really, they facilitate what happens on every run play. It's really up to them. Can they displace the line of scrimmage? Can they push the D-line back? And then in pass protection, when it's a must-throw situation, can we give our quarterback a chance to stand in there comfortably and make the reads? And when I've been playing against teams that have good O-lines, I can hear it in the meeting rooms. I sit there in the front row of every Bill Belichick meeting for over 20 years. When he was coaching our defense and we were playing a good offensive line, I knew that it was going to be a long, hard day for our defense.
That's the guy that depended on an offensive line. The times Miami had success, when was it? When they couldn't block. When you couldn't block Jason Taylor and company, that's when Tom Brady struggled. Every time. Every time. Anytime Miami gave the Patriots a game, which it happened actually, it would happen often. They would give them a game. Not win, but give them a tough game and all that. It was always one determining factor. It wasn't like the Dolphins were dominating. Okay, the Wildcat year. That was it. The one that you threw Belichick off like, what's going on here, bro? What is this? What is this? Who's got the wait a minute, which way did he go? Which way did he go? You know, that one time. But outside of that, it was Jason Taylor. It was Jason Taylor. And why? Because their O-line was struggling that day. Struggling. As Joe Namath would say, struggling. You know, it's just, I understand, man. I've suffered also with the Dolphins for 40 years. I've suffered with bad management, bad coaches, bad players, bad quarterbacks. We don't have a bad quarterback in place. We have one of the great passers in place. We're just stupid. Like we've been with Marino and like we're doing with this guy also. We don't block. We don't run. We don't defend. And so if you can't win in the line of scrimmage, I don't give a shit who it is back there. And you only get one Marino. So if you're waiting for the next one, it'll be in some other lifetime. Those kind of freaks. Tua's not a freak. Tua's a breeze. He's a Joe Montana type. These people are not physical freaks. They're this. They don't possess any physical traits. None of them. Bob Greasy's not going to blow you away with any physical traits. Neither is Joe Montana. Neither is Drew Brees, and neither is Tua. Their jobs are accuracy, intelligence, anticipatory skills. They can read defenses, all of that. But you must do your job. And if you don't do your job and you can't run the right routes, and you ran the route 87 times in the offseason. This is the way the route goes in the timing. Don't cut it off in the middle of the game because the ball is going to be there at that spot every time. You must be at that spot. Don't create another spot because that becomes a turnover. It's that simple. And it doesn't matter if you're the Patriots, and it doesn't matter if you're the Dolphins, and it doesn't matter if you're Peyton Manning. They're all the same, dude. They're all the same. They're all throwing to spots and things like that. It's all time. Why do you think Chad Johnson couldn't hang with the Patriots? Because he ad-libbed his entire career. That's the beauty of Carson Palmer. He actually was able to find Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, whatever the hell he wants to call himself, and he wasn't running a disciplined route ever. Des Bryant was never running a disciplined route, and Tony Romo had to deal with it. Everybody else runs disciplined routes, and they're in the same place where they're supposed to be, how you design the play, how it's supposed to be run, how the spacing is, everything. There's a method to the madness, but then sometimes you have the madness of the stupidity of Tyreek, and then there you go, and then there's an interception because you ran the wrong route, asshole. So, great job. Thank you, Sean, for getting all that sound. Beautiful job, Marissa, for you getting Louis Riddick. For me personally, I've talked to people like this over the years. I've had all kinds of people like this over the years. It's just good to replay all this kind of stuff because this is all the stuff that we've been preaching for years. Nothing's changed, dude. And we're screwing up another one of our quarterbacks. It's what we're doing. And so finally, they got big backs this offseason. They got guards this offseason. They went against everything that Mike McDaniel is all about. So the fact that they drafted a guard high, the fact that they spent money on a guard is not what Mike McDaniel likes. So that went against him. The fact that they got rid of a big back last year, that's exactly what McDaniel wants. He wants more smaller and speed backs. They went and got Madison, and then they drafted Ollie. And they said, no, we're adding beef to the backfield now. We're adding beef to the offensive line. So hopefully, finally, they're doing what they're supposed to do. We'll see. But if you run the ball and protect this guy, sky's the limit. It truly is. And, of course, if Tyreek can run the right routes and hang on to a ball, that would also help out. Now, what doesn't help out, you don't want to pay Jonnu Smith, and that's not good because I don't know who to replace him. Our number 2 is next. We will return with Michelle Kaufman. We'll talk a little Inter Miami. We'll get back to talking a little football, a little Miami Heat. And also something really sad news for some men. Sad. Hour number 2 is next.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Right, all right. And by the way, remember that Welton Rayom commercial I just saw. We are in hurricane season, so save that number because they have their own adjusters. So if you have any damage to your home, a storm, it doesn't even have to be a hurricane, but a lot of rain and you get brown spots in your roof, you might have a leak, call them 954-966-4646. They send their adjusters over and then they attack the insurance company for you. You never have to even deal with the insurance company, and they might get you that new roof that you need. So make sure you call Welton Rayom or save the number just in case for a rainy day, literally. All right, 954-966-4646. Michelle, how are you doing? Good afternoon.
I'm tired. I'm very tired. This is like exciting, but a grind. This tournament is because I'm not only covering Inter Miami. You know, I was out there yesterday covering Mamelodi Sundowns against Fluminense, and I'm covering, you know, Boca against everybody. And, you know, it's been fun, but I'm also traveling with Inter Miami. I'll be there in Atlanta this weekend. So it's been a few weeks of a lot of work, but a lot of fun, I have to say.
I gotta, and by the way, I mean, it kind of goes under the radar, but this is the most Inter Miami has ever accomplished as a franchise, because you could talk about it, all the points that you got last year, but it meant nothing by losing to Atlanta. Like the entire season meant nothing after you did all of that. The fact that you beat Porto, okay,
yeah,
and then you tied here with Palmeiras, and then you moved on to the knockout round. This might be the greatest accomplishment of Inter Miami's existence so
it's
far.
not might. You can drop the might. They've already won more than $20 million, by the way, just for getting to the round of 16. They got $9.5 million for participating, $2 million for their group stage win over Porto, $1 million for each of the two ties. So that was $2 million more dollars. And then 7 something for reaching this round. So they've already just right now, they go home. They're coming home $20 million, almost $21 million richer than when they got there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from a financial standpoint, already the club has made, you know, a lot of money, but really equally or more important or whatever, they're the only MLS or CONCACAF team to advance and to beat a European team. They really are kind of holding the flag, carrying the flag for MLS, and they've definitely earned respect no matter what happens against PSG, because PSG is PSG.
Yes.
But no matter what happens on Sunday, they've reached the round of 16 in an international tournament against Al Ali, is the African champion of that whole region of Africa. They are the champion and multiple time Egyptian champion. So Miami advanced past them, advanced past Porto, 30-time Portuguese champion. I mean, yes, they were having a down year this year, but still
Doesn't matter.
it's a traditional team with a lot of Portuguese national team players. They beat them and beat them fair and square. And then to tie Palmeiras, a Brazilian, Copa Libertadores champion, and with the crowd that the Palmeiras people brought, it was really, they beat a team from South America, a powerhouse from South America, a powerhouse from Europe, and a powerhouse from Africa. So, for an MLS team, I don't care if it has Messi or doesn't have Messi. For an MLS team with the salary restrictions that they have, I just did a story yesterday, which I encourage all you Inter Miami. Well, of course, I want the Inter Miami fans to read all of my coverage, but
yes,
I did a story yesterday on. I got a hold of the salary list that was released yesterday afternoon, but I had it yesterday morning. The whole list from the MLSPA. They put the list out of every player in MLS, all the salaries, and when you look at Noah Allen is making $125,000. Yannick Bright, $80,000. Yannick Bright. Ian Frey also around $125,000. They are going to be going up against players with PSG that are making multi-millions of dollars. So for an MLS team, yes, they have the 4 stars who make more money. They make $1 million plus, of course, and Messi, the Messi factor. But the rest of the squad is quite an accomplishment for a team with that kind of salary restrictions, that kind of, youth, and guys who were just playing, at Weston FC a few years ago, and now going to be playing against PSG in the round of 16 of an international tournament. It's already an achievement. No matter what happens on Sunday, it's already an achievement.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. This I don't really look at this as this big tournament for any of these international teams, but for Inter, the competition, for them to go through this experience, that part is priceless. Not for Messi and those guys, they've been in this a billion times, but like you mentioned, all those young guys, this is priceless what they're going through. And so hopefully this helps out when they do return to MLS play, and it makes those people around Messi, a lot better. I mean, the Segovia rip against Porto.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, and Maxi Falcone has been playing on Ustadi. Ustadi, not that he's young, but he had been, good, but had some bad. He's been very, very good in this tournament.
Yes.
He's really stepped up in this tournament.
Yeah.
So as a team, we have to remember, I looked at the calendar because it's hard to believe. Exactly 1 month ago, exactly 4 weeks ago, this team was in a horrible spiral downward. They were in a 7-game stretch where they had won only 1 game, and they had conceded 20 goals. People were saying that Javier Mascherano should be fired. Everybody was, a lot of fans were panicking. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, this team is terrible. What's going on? The older guys, they've lost it. And then they, whatever. And 1 month later, they're having this improbable run, in this tournament. So things have definitely turned around for Mascherano, for the team as a whole. The fans, I'm sure, are enjoying this run. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Even so, like I said, just getting to this point, I think is already a major, major achievement for this team.
Oh, big time, big time. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome to me. It doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. I didn't expect them to get here, to be quite honest. I thought there were going to be kind of embarrassing matches here. No, I thought they would hang with Ali, but then the other 2 matches I was terrified of, and they were fantastic, and it ended up working out. So, for me, it's kind of like the question is, will this roll into them becoming different than the team that we were watching in the MLS struggle a little bit?
Well, they started the little turnaround. the question, they had a little turnaround there where they tied, Philadelphia, which is in first place, they tied them, and then they beat Columbus 5-1. If you recall, that was like the big, oh my goodness, they beat Columbus 5-1. But then there was that 2-week break for the FIFA break. And the question was, would they be able to carry that momentum over into this tournament? Because they had guys away, including Messi and whatever. I did think one telling thing was that Lionel Messi, the night that he played the Argentina game against Colombia, World Cup qualifier, he came like on an overnight flight to get back to training. He went straight from the airport in his Argentina gear to the Inter Miami training facility very early in the morning. He was there by like 6 a.m. and he had just played the night before at like 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And the players all said that to them was a message about how seriously he was taking this tournament. The fact that the GOAT came back so quickly to get back to their training camp, because it was only 2 days before, he came back on the 12th, and their first game was June 14th. So he had only 48 hours to get ready for this game against Al Ahly. And, the players, the teammates all said that was a message to them that, hey, if he's taking this that seriously, we need to get our butts in gear, And they were all the big four were all they seemed very highly motivated. And I think, part of it is like these guys all left Europe. When guys leave Europe to come to MLS, there's always this sort of, there's kind of a feeling like, oh, well, they left Europe because they're going to the easy league to ease into retirement and stuff like that. I think all those four really wanted to show that they can still play because they knew the level of competition that they're about to face. They know who is coming over for this tournament, and they have played against many, many, many of these players from all these different teams, whether it be South American powers or the European powers. They've played against these guys. They know these guys. They didn't want to embarrass themselves. They didn't want their team to be embarrassed by those teams because it looks bad. Then it looks like, oh my God, these guys are over here playing in this crap league and they're whatever. I think that there was a lot on the line for those four players personally, deep inside their souls, that they wanted to show, hey, our team is not, we can compete. And we came to MLS, but it's not as easy as you think. These teams are not as bad. And to be honest, look, Seattle and LAFC, they did not advance, but they didn't get beat 10-0 either. They didn't get beat 8-0. I mean, PSG beat Seattle. I think it was 2-0, a respectable score. And LAFC, had a respectable game against Chelsea. I mean, the MLS teams have not embarrassed themselves at all. Of course, Inter Miami is the one that went through of the three, but I thought that the other two did not play poorly. I think that the league did okay compared to what I think people were afraid of.
No doubt. All right. So on a lighter note, when you have a jersey exchange with Alexander Barkov, Inter Miami has got to do better, Michelle. Noah Allen.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on. Like, you got to have at least Messi or Suarez there, dude. Come on. I mean,
right. Well, what happened is
somebody tell Messi
they didn't know.
He doesn't even have to have a dialogue for this, so it's perfect for him.
I'm going to tell you a little behind the scenes on that. Inter Miami didn't know until about a half an hour before that the Stanley Cup was going to be there or that the Panthers were going to be there. This was sprung on them literally at the stadium. Some FIFA officials told Inter Miami, hey, by the way, we're going to have some special guests. Barkov and these other players and the Stanley Cup are here, and we're going to show them off at halftime. Now, the Panthers brought over, jerseys to swap and whatever. Inter Miami, in their defense, because I talked to someone about it, they did not know that this was even happening.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Well,
matter.
yeah.
Go out and get the star and say, hey, bro, they brought their star. Come on out here. Hey, Messi, you may not know shit about hockey, but that guy is just as important
Well,
in this town
Busquets
as
is a
you
big
are.
fan. By the way, Busquets is a big fan. Busquets has been to many games. Busquets is a big hockey fan. His kids, apparently his kids love hockey. So he's been going with them to the Panther games. So that would have been a good one to have
You know,
Bustier there.
overall, the team just does a half-assed job when it comes to their stars and availabilities and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, it just like, come on, man, do better than. And nothing against Noah Allen. He's a fantastic.
Noah's a big fan. Noah's a huge Panthers fan. So it was a big moment.
Yeah. He's a South Florida kid. So yeah,
He's a Pembroke Pines. He's a Broward kid. He's a Pembroke Pines kid. He loves the Panthers. He was
I
more
got no
excited than
problems with
anybody on that team.
Noah, but just if you're the Inter Miami team, you got to have more awareness. This is a lack of balls from within that they don't want to bother Messi too much. And that would be a bother at that moment. So let's just go get Noah Allen, that he's just going to do whatever we tell him. Hey, Noah, go pick up the trash over there in the corner like Joe Philbin. And he'll go do that too. You know, hey, go sell some burgers. There's Noah Allen flipping burgers and stuff. So I kind of get what's going on behind the scenes, but come on, dude. It's Barkov there, the champions. Good PR, Messi, Barkov. That would be a picture that is, absolutely.
That would have gone global. No, that picture would have gone global.
Yeah,
That picture would have. And Messi with anybody goes global. It's just
exactly.
Messi to do anything is not that easy. As someone who has
that's what I'm talking.
Tried to cover him, for 2 years, and I've spoken to him one time on August 17th of 2023. We're going on 2 years now that he has not spoken to the local media.
It's ridiculous. It's irresponsible on their part, but whatever it is. What do you got going on in the Herald?
I do want to tell you something else. I do want to tell you something else in addition to this tournament that I've been busy covering. On Tuesday, yes, the days are running together. On Tuesday, I got an opportunity to tour the construction site of the new stadium, and that's really been doing really well on page views. We had a video. We had a videographer and a photographer out there with me. And if you go to Miami Herald, you go to my Twitter, Kauf Sports, or you can go to MiamiHerald.com. You'll see the video and my story. So I got to go with a pink hard hat and a little vest and go into the construction site and see how's the building coming. It's a 25,000 seat stadium. For those who don't know all the details, it's right by the airport where the golf course was, the Mel Reese golf course. And it is really coming along. It's a big, giant stadium-looking building now. I mean, it is a stadium. You can see the shell of it. You can see the stands, the concrete parts. The next big stage right now is the canopy. They're very excited about the canopy. The canopy is going to go, which is the roof. The middle where the field is will be open. But then there will be a canopy that goes from the touch lines all the way across all the stands and out over the concourse is going to be an outer ring concourse. Unlike the Marlins Park, which has an inner ring concourse, this will be outside. There will be the concourse. Anyway, that will all be covered by this white canopy that they're very excited about. They say, and they claim, that this will be ready for the 2026 season. However, I did get them to concede that in the past, in MLS history, in the past stadiums that were built, like Audi Field in DC and the field in Austin, the MLS schedulers will probably give Inter Miami a cushion. They're not going to have the opening game of the season scheduled for that stadium in case there are delays. So if there are weather delays, if there are other delays in the construction, which there can be in Miami, you were just talking about hurricanes and heavy rains and so on. I suspect that if the season starts late February, MLS, or first weekend of March, my guess is that the first several Inter Miami games will be scheduled on the road to give them a 1 month cushion minimum to finish up whatever they need to finish up if they fall behind. They say that they're on schedule. They say that they're ready to open early early to spring 2026. They said, absolutely that all of the home games next season, 2026, all the home games will be played at that stadium.
They built that
So
last
the question
stadium
is,
in
when
they
is the
built
first?
they built the
home
last one
game?
in 8 months. So I
Yeah.
would
But that was a
listen.
yeah. That
I
was
don't
not
put,
a real. That was not a concrete stadium. That was a Lego set.
I may not trust Moss to do things very organized when it comes to his soccer business, because there is a lot of craziness that goes on. It's just that they're
But
so
he knows
filthy.
construction. He
They're
knows
so
construction.
filthy. They're so filthy rich that they'll make them a bunch of mistakes, and they'll just continue to buy their way out of these mistakes when it comes to the personnel side. But when it comes to the construction,
They know construction. Moss. It's
they
the
know
Moss family. They know about
they
construction.
know
They know
their
about laying
shit,
down cable,
bro.
laying down electronics, laying down everything. So yeah, I think with the guy who
They
spoke
can't
the
keep
vice
a coach
president.
and a general manager in place, but they're going to be able to construct whatever the hell they want and as fast as they want.
Yeah, they'll bring in 500 people. They'll have 500 people working 24-hour a day shifts. Whatever they'll do.
Private
They're gonna.
money, man. Private funding is a whole different world than public funding.
Yeah, they will. They will. They've already done. I mean, the stadium, it looks quite good right now compared to where it was even 3 months ago. So they have 9 months right now. I would say 10 months if you add the 1 month cushion, which I'm just counting on that. They have 10 months. They have 10 months to get it ready. It's a 25,000 seat stadium. There's going to be a 5,000 parking spots on site. And the first phase of the big park, because the park has many elements, the first phase that they're looking to finish by the start of when they start playing there is obviously the stadium, the parking garage, the surface parking spaces, and then there will be like a little sort of main street type street that's going to have some dining, some bars, and some retail that'll go kind of from the parking area into the stadium and the park. The 58-acre park, they also plan to finish in time for the stadium. After that phase is done, then they're talking about the hotel, the office building, the this and that. But that first phase is all that. And then I've been asked by some people who read my story, they wanted to know about transportation and about traffic and all that. I will tell you that in addition to the 5,000 parking spaces, which they are very excited to announce, it's the most of any MLS stadium, they said, having 5,000 on-site parking spaces. But in addition to that, the stadium is it's going to be across a pedestrian walkway, across a walkway from the Tri-Rail and the Metro Rail stations, but are by the airport. So, the airport transportation center is kind of over there near where the Sheraton Hotel is. That is where the stadium is, on that northeast corner of where the Melreese Golf Course was. That is where the stadium is. So the idea is that people will take Tri-Rail from Broward and Palm Beach County or whatever. They can take Tri-Rail to that airport station, and then it'll be a short walk to the stadium. And then the Metro Rail will also have a station there. So if that really does happen, as they say it will, that's going to really be wonderful, because I just came from Atlanta and I'm going back to Atlanta to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this Sunday. And one of the beautiful things about that stadium is, like, my brother has a vacation home in North Carolina, and he wanted to go to the game with his wife, the Inter Miami game. They drove into the outer skirts of Atlanta, parked in a parking lot at MARTA, took the MARTA train full. He said, my brother said every person on that train was wearing either Porto or Inter Miami or Argentina shirts. The whole train's filled with soccer fans going to the match. It drops you off across the street from the stadium. You literally go over a walkway over the road and you're inside the stadium. It's so easy. And I can say that getting into stadiums in South Florida between Hard Rock, which I have been doing now for these games here with the Club World Cup, and I'm going to have to do again for the World Cup next summer, getting in and out of stadiums in Miami, whether it be Chase or whether it be Hard Rock, it's not easy. There is not good public transportation to the stadiums. And if they can pull that off and have Tri-Rail and Metro Rail, I think that that's going to be a wonderful thing for soccer fans in South Florida.
I'm with you there. All right. Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. Catch more of that coverage and the videos and her podcast also on Inter Miami there at the Herald website, and of course at her Twitter page or X, whatever you want to call it, at Kauf Sports. Michelle, as always, thank you for taking some time, get some rest, and enjoy the football.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy being on your show. Thanks.
Pleasure is mine. You're awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. There you go. She is off and running to Atlanta, baby. PSG and Inter Miami. That is awesome. Good shit, man. Good shit. Good shit. All right. What else do we have going on? Let's see. Willie's in Colombia enjoying his Thursday. Big old fun fact. Byron Young, the player that was drafted by the Rams, not the Raiders, was used with the third round pick the Dolphins gave the Rams for Jalen Ramsey in the 2023 year. There you go. We're always there somewhere. We were in the middle of that stupid trade for SGA. They used some of our picks to make that stupid trade. Edward Thurston Howe, running the right route in the NFL is easier than said than done because you get smacked at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, it's part of the game. Ragin, hello to you, sir. Soldier of God is in. Client is late. More Big O. Well, thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. Since the MLS has a salary cap, will they be able to use all the money they earn from the Club World Cup or strict? I think that's separate revenue from the MLS, my friend. That's for the team. I don't know. I don't think it can be used in the MLS because that's like a cap. It's different. Let's see. Michelle, no pun intended, but no need to defend Inter because of their unprofessional way they handled it. Soldier of God says, Big O, that's why Inter is no Florida Panthers. Well, nobody's a Florida Panthers. That's for sure, my man. Are the tickets going to spike up even more because of the stadium? Frankie, you know how it goes, my brother, or maybe you don't. You win, you spike. You don't win, it goes downward and nobody shows up because you're not going to be able to charge them that. So as long as you have Messi, you'll have people that will go to the stadium to see Messi. That's for sure. Then when Messi's gone, you better go buy another international star because they have not done enough from within to create a star of their own. So it's all about winning and creating that environment, and people will pay. But if you don't win and you don't create that environment, you're not going to be able to charge all that money, you know? So why did they wait so long to possibly rush the construction of the stadium? Dude, it's permits, it's the city, they had to clean the ground first because it was polluted. You know, we had a golf course and we had a golf course that was played on a dump site that had like toxic shit that was like under the ground. So Inter had to then pay extra money to have all that crap excavated. And that stuff is also very dangerous, and you have to do it the right way. So not only do you need the permits, but you also had to clean the ground and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't easy, dude. It wasn't easy. There's not a lot of property, a lot of spaces available in Miami. That was one of them, but there was a caveat to it. Oh, yeah, it's available, but we have toxic waste under our ground here. You're going to have to clean it out in order to build the stadium. And there you go. But it's all right for us to golf on top of a toxic wasteland, and it's also great for our kids to be toxic, golfing on top of a toxic land. But now that you're going to build a stadium, now you need to clean it. Because isn't it great that the city would build a golf course for kids and for people right above toxic waste? Huh? Isn't that just beautiful? Don't you just love them for that? So, yeah, Frankie, there was a lot of things going on. So, Big O, I think a healthy Tua really hides McMorron's incompetence. Having said that, I hope Greer and company see through that and still fire him. I think he's going to be fired. I think that's kind of what it is. You know? Well, Dolphins did a great job last season with their free bus transportation to the stadium. That's actually cool. I didn't know they did that. That's very nice. Would the Canes ever consider playing football in that stadium? No. Moss is not going to build that stadium to have a soccer pitch and then have a bunch of fat people come up and destroy it all over the place. No. No, the Canes will stay where they're at. Period. End of story. There's not going to ever be movement again for the Canes. And they'll never build their own stadium, so, Okay. And by the way, I don't care what Tyreek Hill said lately and whatever. I don't care what the clown says. I know he opened his mouth again and started trying to say stupid positive stuff now instead of stupid negative stuff, because everything he says is just stupid, because he's just stupid. Speaking of stupid, insulting, soft, weak, let me just tell you something, okay? And it'll never happen to me because I don't have friends like that anymore, because my friends are older now and they're not really that young to actually think like this. So apparently baby showers now for men. So there's a baby shower video doing the rounds on Instagram. The adorable video was shared by a heavily pregnant U.S. woman showing a giant mound of nappies, wipes, baby gifts stacked high in her living room, gifts from a surprise baby shower that her husband, thrown by her husband and his workmates. Says, I don't care about emotionally dead inside you are. If that's warm, your cold, crusty heart, I don't know what will. And he says the video itself, it's wholesome, but the comments really drive it home. My husband's coworkers did this when I was pregnant. He came home with all kinds of excited, mainly women. One made a cake. Another did an amazing gift, basket full of necessities I will never forget, that included in the baby excitement too. Wait, we can't stop and acknowledge and really enjoy the fact that they threw a baby shower for their male coworker because they are supporting his fatherhood. This is beautiful! Exclamation point, exclamation points. Fathers need to be a part of the transition too. We forget that dads need spoiling too. I know there's a bunch of wipes and nappies, but it's one less thing for them to think about for a few months. We had to do this for a male coworker. It was a blast watching this big guy holding up little garments. I highly recommend it. So now it's males holding baby showers and throwing baby showers for each other. What is this world coming to? When my wife had her shower, I dropped her off. Because sometimes they drag the man to the shower. She knows there was no way that was going to happen. No way. I don't do that. Sorry. Sweetheart, do you need me to, pick up all the stuff at the end of the... Yeah, call me. I'll come over and load up the truck. I'll do the manly stuff, right? I'm not going to sit there and with the baby shower and her, or much less I want a baby shower thrown for me. Now, listen, if I had a buddy of mine says, hey, I'm throwing a baby shower for myself and want to invite you, I'm just going to punch you out right there. I just want you to know that. There'll be no response from me, just a fist. That's it. What are you thinking about? Baby showers for men. That's an oxymoron. Baby showers for men. No. It's not a sentence. Makes no sense whatsoever. You people are getting way too metrosexual. Just telling you, bro. Men do not give or receive baby showers. In fact, most of you should not even attend a baby shower. I'm just saying, I know some of you, may not have the pants in the family, so you get like roped into it, but we make fun of you as it is for that. Now you're going to have your own baby shower? Yes, sir.
That envelope, when it arrives to your house, just rip it up.
Yeah, no. Forget about that. I'm going to drive by your house and egg it. You want a baby shower? Here's a shower of eggs. Baby shower. In fact, if I was young back in the 80s and you said you were going to have a baby shower, not only we would laugh at you, that day we would make sure we sabotaged it. There's no doubt about it. We would sabotage your shower. There's no way in Little Havana in the 80s you get away with something like that. We are sabotaging your shower. Seriously. Smoke bombs, whatever. I don't know. It's not going to be pretty. I might end up lighting up a couple of SOS Brillo pads, tie it up on the rope, on a wire rope, because you can't use a rope because, it'll burn off. But you use like a steel kind of rope, wire long. You tie up the SOS, you light it up, and then you got sparks flying all over the shower. Anybody ever did that? You ever did that? You never heard about that? SOS Brillo pads. You grab like a long cable, like a wire and then you wrap it around like 2 or 3 of them. Then you grab the lighter, you light it up, and then you spin it. And dude, it's a beautiful sight, actually. It's sparks flying round and round and round as you're spinning. And now you got to do it in the middle of the street, and you got to have some space. Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't want you people lighting anything on fire out there. But you need space, because when you do this, the sparks are flying out like 15, 20 feet. So understand that. Okay? But it's actually, you never heard of that? Yeah, man.
Not that.
SOS Brillo pads. They're flammable, and when you light them up and then spin it, dude, it's actually a very pretty sight. And it's very cheap fireworks for 4th of July. When you're, you gotta make things up, and when you're a kid, and that's one of the things you go buy. Back in those days, a couple boxes of SOS Brillo pads cost nothing, dude. Nothing. And it was actually really fun.
You're talking about people in the media talking about the Dolphins.
Yes.
See what your buddy Colin Cowherd did?
Oh, God. What did he say?
Well, first he said the Dolphins head coach McDaniels.
Oh, McDaniels. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people had the yes.
Yeah, and then he's upset with the GM Scott Greer.
Yeah, Scott Greer guy, man. What's he thinking?
Scott Greer.
Scott Greer. Jesus. I didn't know Chris's brother took over.
Yeah. This is third brother, right? Because the other one, the hockey.
Yeah, third brother.
Talk about misinformation. I mean,
Scott Greer.
How many people now think that Chris Greer has been replaced? Yeah, Chris Greer's gone.
He's gone.
Scott Greer.
Scott Greer, fresh from a baby shower. Took over. Let's go. Toby says, Big O, you're invited to my shower. Ocala says, damn, Big O, too late. I already put your invitation in the mail. Michelle Kaufman is a superstar and a legend. I commend you for putting her on your show. Well, it's what's going on right now. There's actually like legitimate soccer going on and being played, you know. So, what else do we have? Forget about it. Bad enough using skinny jeans. No way baby showers are for the ladies. Come on, what's wrong with these men nowadays? And we're using that word men very loosely, by the way. Ray Grullon, maybe they go for the cake. I don't know, bro. Toby says, I can't imagine telling my old Cuban dad he's invited to my baby shower. Can you imagine telling an old man that I'm having a baby shower? Like, I don't know, bro. My dad would look at me like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, yeah, no, that's just kind of, yeah. Brett says, I'm so glad that I'm so far away that I never see all the dolphin misinformation and clickbait out there. I rely on all my dolphin legit info from you and your show. Thank you, good sir. Appreciate you. And we try to keep you guys as level-headed as possible, even if it's negative. But at least it's realistic, you know? Smoke bombs and eggs always did the trick, Big O, right? Right? They never fail. And if you have some time, you bury the eggs for a couple of days and then you use them. That's when the eggs are special, bro. Most men these days don't want a damn thing to do with the baby, much less a shower. Like, a shower. Give me a break. Tyreek Hill is barely around to be a father, much less a shower. He's only around to produce the kids. And by the way, Brett is missing all the dolphin information. Like people going off Tyreek Hill is gonna, you know, convince the corner to stay. So funny, dude. The shit people come up with here in the off season. It really is just crazy. By the way, what'd you think of that story now that the Heat people around, the people that cover, now they think they're going to go after Kuminga?
It feels like if anything comes up, the Heat are tied to somehow.
Oh, man.
They don't have, I mean, I don't know if it's a lot of people just hoping something
Is he the answer?
No. There are no answers. That's the thing. Like, there's nobody you're going to bring in that is going to be an answer.
Amen, bro.
No matter what you do, you're going to have to
start. Amen, dude. Jesus, just amen. That is just the brutal honesty, dude. You know? Just so weird how we just kind of. Oh, by the way, BigCheeseMiami.com. I love going there. I love eating the food. Oh, the pasta shipped from Italy, cooked fresh daily. Gary, all the great people out there. You know what? Maybe I'll go tomorrow afternoon after I'm done at Acura. We're not at Acura tomorrow? Oh, yeah. No, we are at Subaru too. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, but we're not. They don't need to know that part. We're not working at Subaru. We're going to Subaru after Acura for a few minutes. Okay. We're doing something else. But anyway, so yeah. Damn, dude. We'll see. Tyreek doesn't have a baby shower. He would need a baby flood. Oh, a bay flood. Yeah, that's about it. But anyway, maybe I got to hit a little big cheese because those garlic rolls are just to die for, bro. Every single day I think about them. They are so damn good. Oh, let me do a little music, by the way. I got some music stuff to talk about. Had a great time yesterday. Clutch. So good, bro. So good. Really, really good. That was a lot of fun. All right, let's get into birthdays today for musicians born on June 26. Ariana Grande, Mrs. Palm Beach, right, or something. She's from that area. The singer, born in 1993, has sold over 90 million records worldwide. 5th highest certified digital singles female artist. How about that? And I know she's from somewhere in Palm Beach or something like that. Anyway, happy birthday to her. Nathan Followill, drummer with Kings of Leon, born in 1979. Ryan Tedder from One Republic, born in 1979. Gretchen Wilson, country singer, born in 1973. Colin Greenwood, bassist with Radiohead, born in 1969. Mark D. Claudot, drummer with EMF. Oh, you're unbelievable. Terry Nunn, the beautiful one from Berlin, born in 1961. We're disco queens now. Although that was the other girl that said we're disco queens now. Terry didn't say that. For those of you that don't know, Terry Nunn was in Thank God It's Friday. She's one of the two girls that were the dancers that were sneaking in. In 56, today, Chris Isaac was born. Mick Jones from The Clash, born in 55. Larry Taylor from Canned Heat, born in 42. Billy Davis Jr. You don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my show. And also Fifth Dimension, born in 1940. So those are musicians. Let's go with other famous folk celebrating birthdays today. And remember, if I don't say the age, that means they are no longer with us, like Abner Doubleday, the baseball pioneer, born in 1819. Now, Doubleday Field is in Cooperstown, right next to the Hall of Fame. You can check that out. What else do we have? William Lear, aircraft developer, born in 1902. Peter Lorre, actor, born in 1904. Actor Robert Davi, born in 51. He is 74 today. World Golf Hall of Famer member Babe Diedrichson Zaharias, born in 1911. Skip that one. Let's see who else celebrating a birthday today. Greg LeMond, Hall of Famer, cyclist, American, 61. Born in 61, he is 64. Didn't he get shot or some shit like that in the leg? And then he came back and won the Tour de France. Let's see who else is celebrating birthdays today. Actor Sean Hayes, born in 70. He's 55. Derek Jeter, Hall of Fame baseball member, born in 74. He's 51. Jason Schwartzman, actor, born in 80. He's 45. Actor Aubrey Plaza, she's a trip, born in 84. She's 41. Actor Jeanette McCurdy, born in 1992. She's 33. And actor Haley Quinn Smith, born in 99. She is 26. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
I do, but a couple answers for you.
Yes, sir.
Ariana Grande, Boca Raton.
Boca. I knew it was somewhere in Palm Beach.
And yes, Greg LeMond won the Tour de France in 1989, sorry, after a dramatic comeback following a near fatal hunting accident in 1987. He was shot by his brother-in-law.
Like in the thigh or some shit.
During a hunting trip with pellets entering his back and right side.
Right side, okay. All right. And then he won the Tour de France after that, didn't he?
Well, that was in 87. The Tour de France he won in 89, so 2 years later.
I remember that he got
60
shot.
Pellets entered his body.
And wasn't that like his third Tour de France win? Did he win like Didn't he win?
I believe it was 86, 87, 89.
Right,
It was
80.
what I just
Right.
read.
So he won 2 before he got shot, and then 1 after he got shot. Right. It's sort of Lamont was a badass dude. Badass.
And now for pro wrestling birthdays. J.J. Dillon, the mastermind of the Four Horsemen, is 83 today. Jackie Fargo was born on this date in 1930. Mark Jindrak is 48. And Matt Stryker, he turns 51 on June 26th, 2025.
Striker. All right, let's go. Let's go with music history. What happened today on June 26th? We start off in 2003. Rock legends Deep Purple were deluged with emails after they announced that their new album was slated to be called Bananas. Fans were irate over the ridiculous name. In 70, the Guess Who had the #1 song in the country with American Woman, Honey Let Me Be. In 2000, Oasis released a statement saying that Noel Gallagher had left the band's European tour. It believed he had been fighting with his brother and bandmate Liam over his drinking. In 77, the Eagles topped the album charts with Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely face. In 2005, 9 Inch Nails closed the Coachella Festival in California. Other performers that day included New Order and The Bravery. In 2012, The Offspring released their 9th studio album, Days Go By. And that's what happened today on June 26th in rock history. All right. What else do we have going on? Wow, Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCoo. Yes. Marilyn McCoo. She was a cutie, wasn't she? She was a hottie, Marilyn McCoo. No doubt about that. How about Bitcoin? Where we at? We haven't even mentioned any Bitcoin. Are we at 108 back again? 107 something? 107,787. We've been flirting around with the 108 and the 107 break right now. The market ended up on a high today. Dow Jones, 404 points up. The S&P is up 48. And the NASDAQ up 1/3 of a point. There you go. All right. Yes, Marilyn McCoo was definitely a fox. No doubt about it. The Eagles made such a smart move adding Joe Walsh, one of their guitar goats. Oh, yeah. That was a very good addition. No doubt about it. And don't forget, folks, to visit our friends at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. You can get $500 off if you mention our name. We also have a QR code that Sean can show you. Eric Stampone, he was on with us yesterday. Great dude. Thomas Umpierre, Jean-Paul Dusan, Samuel Williams, Brian Medina is the sales manager there. Just some great people. Alan is the general manager, and he does great work. So go visit our friends at Subaru of Pembroke Pines and the Cross Trek right now, the 2025. They've got over 70 of them right now. So you've got a large selection of vehicles, and it's ready and city smart. The 2025 Cross Trek features standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, elevated ground clearance, and advanced safety technology, all wrapped in bold, compact SUV styling. So whether you're navigating South Florida summer rain or heading out on a sunny road trip, the Cross Trek is built to keep up with every move you make, folks. So check it out and get $500 off. Also, the 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid, we've got it there. That's where efficiency is meeting capability. In the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid, it brings you the same trusted all-weather performance and spacious versatility. The Forester is known for now enhanced with hybrid technology to help you go farther with fewer stops, which is a beautiful thing. It's a smart step forward for eco-conscious drivers who crave everyday adventures. So tell them that Big O sent you, whether it's Eric or anybody out there, and get $500 off at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Thank you. 16100 Pines Boulevard. Yes, sir, Sean Stanley.
So this story probably not a lot of people heard about or anything else, but do you remember the Super Bowl, the performer that held up the protest like during Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance?
Yes.
Okay, he's been arrested by LA State Police for his halftime protest. His name is Zulkarnain Kwame Nantambu.
And he's not an American citizen.
He is 41, okay? But now it gets even crazier.
That's awesome.
Because in a separate case, Nantambu is listed as the victim of a May 17th shooting outside a celebrity boxing event in Miami.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And Antonio Brown, he was
Yes.
there?
Apparently.
Is this guy even a
he
citizen?
is the one that Antonio Brown shot at.
Oh.
So it said Antonio Brown facing attempted murder charge after authorities say he grabbed a handgun from a security worker at the boxing event and fired 2 shots at Nantambu. Nantambu told investigators that one of the bullets grazed his neck.
Oh, did they have proof of that finally? Because I've heard of that.
I'm just going off the story. It doesn't really say they have proof for it.
Is this guy a citizen too?
I don't know. Apparently he was a performer with Kendrick Lamar, so he had permission to be on the field, but he didn't have permission to do what he did.
Ah, Jesus.
And then somehow now he's in the whole
why
Antonio Brown.
Why? Yeah, if you're anywhere and you see Antonio Brown run like hell, I agree. I agree. And if you're by a large building, look up because there could be furniture coming your way because it could be Antonio Brown heaving it from somewhere. So you just never know. So yeah, you got to be careful. Anyway, we are out of here, folks. We will get Steve Calabro back to next week. He's at the Dominican Republic, actually. So we thank Mr. Brunetti and all the great people out here, as always, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. Visit our friends out here at Hialeah Park. Got some loose slots, baby. Got a beautiful poker room out here. I see the baseball games going on, the racing across the country. Take advantage. Great people out here. The ladies will serve you drinks and food while you're gambling. It's a beautiful thing. Appreciate all of you out there. Please hit the like button before you go. If you made a donation, we appreciate it. If you can, we appreciate that immensely. We shall see you tomorrow morning, live from Acura Pembroke Pines. Same time, same place, same bat channel.